Well, howdy meowdy, I am the Damn Cat Gaming, and this is going to be a rebroadcast of GTRC's GT3 Series Round 4 at Interlagos. Before we dive in, we're gonna go over the series info again, just to see what it's about. So this race is a 1 hour long race with a qualifying that takes place beforehand, consisting of 1 outlap and 2 flying laps, basically 2 opportunities to set our qualifying time. There's a little bit of tire wear and fuel usage. Each are at 3x, so basically 1 lap around the track, it would be as if we had used 3 laps worth of fuel and 3 laps worth of tire usage. We're refueling at around 8 liters per second, and the weather is always random. So if in GT7 it is possible to rain, then rain is a factor. This round, Interlagos is not a track where it rains in GT7, so this was a non-factor. And as always, for the main championship, the required tire compound is the hards and mediums. Each have to be used for a minimum of 5 racing laps. And this is a schedule. Like I said yesterday, as of the time of this recording, is when we ran round 4 in Interlagos, and then in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be doing it again in Suzuka. Looking forward to that. That's a fun track, even if I don't do well there. But that's at a later date. And this is a list of the cars permitted. Almost every manufacturer has at least one registrant signed up. I think McLaren is the only manufacturer that is not represented in the roster. We have a few AMGs. All of them are in the AMG 20. We do have someone in the Aston. There's one driver in the Audi R8 Evo. We have one driver in BMW M6. One driver in the Dodge Viper. We have 2 drivers in the Ferrari 458 and 1 in the 296. There is someone registered in the Lamborghini and the Lexus. There are 2 registrants, if I remember correctly, for the Nissan Nismo GT3 2018 model. And there are quite a few Porsche drivers. All right, and so after we did our qualifying, this is how our starting grid began. So we have Ishmael, who took the pole, maple syrup as he appears in our documents, then followed by Petrol, Supra in the 458, Flak or the Popad, and also in the 458. I should mention Petrol is one of the AMGs. Like all the AMG drivers are in the 2020 version. Starting 5th, we have Bar, the lone Porsche represented this round. Then we have, starting in 6th, Tap, who is a reserve. He was able to make it this round, and he is also in the AMG 2020. 7th place, we have ATP of Race Asylum. He is in the 2018 Nissan GTR. And starting in 8th, we have Tron Colby and another driver in the 2020 AMG. We have Type R and the lone representative of the BMW and the M6. And myself, the Damn Cat, starting at the rear, the lone representative for Dodge in this series. All right, give me a moment to get us set up here. Where's that button? Here's that button. All right, here we go. Here we go. As always with this series, well, yeah, for most tracks in the series, we are doing a rolling start. There are a handful where, just due to the way the grid starts, we'll be doing grid start. This is not such a round. So this is take 2. We had a red flag the first time around. Just glad we see Super going way wide right off the bat. So this initial turn 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think, are all. It's a very big point about that we all got through cleanly, aside from Super going wide. And we do see Flack fell off the pace a little bit there. But Ishmael still holding onto the lead. He's got Petrol right up behind him, Super behind him with that 1.5 second penalty for going off track the way he did. You got Bar, Tap, ATB, Trone, Type R, myself, and Flack, who's picked up a 1/2 second penalty as well. I think that was from when he went off earlier as well. So Ishmael is still leading the way. He's starting on the mediums. Petrol's looks like he's starting on the mediums. Supra's starting on the hards, so it could be why he went wide. Bar on the mediums, Tap on the hards, ATB on the hards, Trone on the mediums, Type R on the hards, and myself on the mediums, and Flack on the hards. And as he's coming here, serving his penalty now, and we saw myself pulling around that Viper, trying to just make it just running away on the outside. The Viper has that kind of power and acceleration where it can take that long way around on many of these corners. Let's come back to the front. We have Ishmael, who's starting to pull a gap on Petrol, who's Nas Bar behind him, followed by Tap, Super, and Trone. They were side by side for a little bit. Trone's got the inside, but Super is in the better handling Ferrari, so he's able to maintain position here. Trone is going to have to dial it in and give it an attack again here later. Yeah, I've got it. Ooh, here I am going wide. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that causes us to go all the way back to the back with ATB, Type R, and Flag getting around after our little fishtail adventure there. Because coming up here back to the front, Ishmael looks like he's starting to get a little bit of pressure from Petrol, but Petrol's got second-ish, so just trying to keep close, just applying pressure as he can. That looks to be what he's trying to do at this point in time. Bar's right there, he's chasing. Then we got a little gap to Tap, and Supra, Trone, ATB's gotten around Type R. Actually, ATB's always been around Type R. I don't know what I'm talking about there. We have Flack, and then I'm bringing up the rear, trying to close back in on the back. Right, so coming back to the front, Ishmael and Petrol still right there. Petrol trying to stay on that rear bumper, trying to stay in the slipstream here, just trying to keep applying pressure. I don't think Petrol's going to try to make any moves this early on. He's just going to stay up there and basically just try to make Ishmael crack. We got Bar, who's trying to close in, and he's eventually going to ideally start doing the same to Petrol. So we see Superboy has gotten around Tap, and Trone is right up there with him. This is a nice little battle for fourth. We have look like Trone taking it a wide way around there. That gets him the inside into here, which puts him on. Which, if he doesn't get around, would put him on the outside going into here. But he was able to get around, but Tap to the outside, and position for now is his. But Tap's fighting back, and of course, this could potentially allow Superboy to run away if Tap's not able to keep up. But if he just dial it in, well, I don't want to dial it, but settle in behind Drone. The two can work together to keep up with Superboy. You have ATB Type R flag starting to apply pressure to Type R, and I'm trying to apply pressure to flag now at this point. Still keeping it, just bringing it in the rear. We're all these front three are all on their own, though. We have Ishmael. It's got about a car length ahead of Petrol at this point, and these two have put a little small gap on Barr. He's got a penalty. That's no good. It's causing him to fall further back from these two. And just like I said, Petrol is just, for now, I think he's just going to be content to stay behind Ishmael and just continue to apply pressure. Just try to make this Audi crack. Try to make the Audi driver make a mistake instead of using more tire and fuel on this track that is not forgiving for tires, in order to maybe have a shot at the lead. Barr's about to start his penalty. We have Superboy trying to fend off Troncobi. Ooh! Supergut goes playing in the grass there. Ferrari doesn't like that one bit. Kind of this final little left-hander here. Drone's got the cape. Drone can make the move here if he wants. Drone's got the power. Should have the power advantage here. But I think Super just got just good enough of a run to be able to hold him off. You have Tab ATB closing in on Tab now. Then we have Flack and that Viper just pulling around on the outside of the BMW. Coming back here to the front. Again, we have Petrol and Ishmael just same as they've been in the all race. Petrol just staying right there, continuing to apply pressure, just continuing to try to make that Audi driver crack. So far, it does not seem to be working. Up. There's a move. There's a move to the inside. Gives the Audi the inside here. The Audi's going to have the acceleration advantage here, but this track is very good for the Audi. You don't need that much top end here. You just need to be able to get up, and that one thing the Audi does do very well is it gets up really good, and it handles pretty good too. So Petrol's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to make a move. I don't think he's going to do it here, but I know he's acting like he wants to. But I think the best move here for Petrol is going to be to stick behind and just continue to apply that pressure. Because those two are ideally going to want to continue to build a gap over Barr here in third place in the Porsche. Which I will admit the Porsche actually should do well here. You have Superboy trying to hold off Drone. Drone looking like he wanted to peek outside, but Super kind of blocked that off. Super trying to go sideways around this corner. It's not good for the tires to do it that way, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And Super got one much better exit out of the first set of corners, and that Mercedes is a handful around here. I can tell you. Let me tell you, it is a handful to drive around here. Mercedes is very much a boaty car in terms of its handling, and so it's not really going to like this track very much. So we got the Nissan should be doing pretty well here. It's gotten around Tab. Then we have the Tab in the Mercedes. You have Flack in the Ferrari behind him, and you have that stealth black Dodge Viper behind him, just trying to keep up at this point. And then the BMW just lagging behind a little bit here. Might be struggling on the hards, I think. Coming to the front to where these two are just continuing on. Just Ishmael continuing to keep ahead, keep Petrol at bay. Petrol continuing to stay behind, riding right under that rear wing, basically. Just trying to just continuing to apply pressure, just trying to nudge a mistake out of that Audi, basically. And we have Barr kind of on his own at this point. losing touch to the leading two, and he's got a nice sizable gap between him and fourth place Superboy, who has that Cleveland Brown Mercedes behind him. Again, he gets the better run here, but it seems like Trone does close up to him throughout the rest of the lap. That's kind of been how these two have been going at it the past few laps. Super gets the better exit out of the opening corners, and Trone just slowly reels them in throughout the rest of the track. We have ATB flag and tap, and missing is that Dodge Viper. Something happened, but the Viper is once again behind the BMW. Either way, we have Ishmael coming up still ahead of Petrol. Slowly a gap is starting to form. Slowly Ishmael is getting away from that Mercedes. But I know Petrol will have to know he ain't quitting. That's for sure. He ain't gonna quit on this. He's gonna be persistent. He's gonna try to stick, try to close back in on Ishmael, and he's gonna try to work his way back to where he's under that rear spoiler, and again resume applying pressure. And you have Barr, who's just, I think at this point just needs to just maintain what he is doing. Stay free of mistakes, and ooh, we missed that. Trone got around Superboy. I think Super might have gone wide at some point, if I have to guess. I could go back, but don't like the way that flows, so we're not going to do it. Alright, so we have Trone and Superboy. Super looking to get right back around that Mercedes. I think Super would rather have the Mercedes in his rear view than in front of him, so let's see what retaliation Super is going to get into here. How is he going to respond if having been passed by that Mercedes? And I see Flag has gotten around ATB. Let's have a look at this. Flag is trying to go ahead and pull out of the ATB, who's gotten around Tape Bar Viper. Viper is right there again. If I have to guess, Viper is again going to try to run around the outside, going around the final corner. We have Ishmael and Petrol. Same old. These two are just doing this, and they're running predictably. Petrol continuing to apply pressure. Barr just chilling, trying to keep ahead. Trone manages to hold off Superboy that lap. Is he able to hold him off? Continuing up, we have ATB in the pits. ATB coming off the hards on. He's probably going to come onto the mediums. So this time, Trone got the better exit out of the corners. Got the better of Super there. We have Flack with Tap's blue Mercedes kind of behind him here, and you have Stealth Black Viper just trying to get you to the field here. That's what we're doing now. With that BMW's gonna try to follow us through, and then ATB is just now coming out of pits, and as expected, he is coming out on those mediums. Meanwhile, Ishmael has got a slightly bigger gap over Petrol than the last time we really paid attention to the gap. So Ishmael is starting to build that gap. He's starting to pull away from Petrol. And that tire wear difference is pretty significant between the two. Barr isn't too much different than Petrol. Trone is a little bit better than where Barr's at. And Super being on the hards, Supra's wear is, I would actually say, pretty bad. Given that this is 10 laps in on hards, that front right is taking a huge beating. But that's because Supra is pushing that thing, that's Ferrari to grip, as if it's on mediums, so he's burning up that front right. a lot more than is ideal. You have Flak and Tap, both are on hards, and they're on fairly similar wear. Tap a little bit worse. You have me on the mediums, and that front right is, my front right is ringing in agony. We have Type R, who in comparison to that Viper is babying those hards. And ATB, he's on a fresh set, so we'll have to check on him in a little bit to see where he's at tire wear wise. Yep. And now we have Ishmael. Quite a big gap, about 3-ish seconds now between Ishmael and Petrol. They've got like a big gap over Bar. Tron and Supra still side by side here. Well, no, not side by side. They were at one point, but now they're Tron trying to keep ahead of Supra. He should be able to do it on the medium compound, even though that front right is hurting a little bit on Tron there. But Supra, like I said, Supra is burning through his front right pretty hard as well. So we'll see how that plays out as the set continues. We have Flak, Tap, Viper, and the BMW and the Nissan fresh out of pit, looking to undercut the field here, having a small excursion in the grass. Doesn't hurt to do that every once in a while, I suppose. Ishmael trying to build that gap he has over Petrol now. Yeah, Petrol's front right is pleading for Petrol to take it easy on him. It's pleading with him, begging. We have Bar quite a ways back. Ooh! Went a little wide there. But he kept it going, pointing in the right direction, so you're doing good. We have Tron continuing to fend off Superboy. Yeah, and Tron has the softer compound. Although at this point, whether the mediums are better than the hards at this stage of the stint, that is debatable. But it looks like Tron is still able to keep the car going in the right way, keeping it well under control. Tron's using a bit more fuel than Superboy as well. Tron is dipping into the pits. He's coming in for the first fresh shoes, or he might be starting his hard stint. We'll find out here in a little bit. We have Tap, we have that Viper coming along, pulling away from the BMW. We have Type R and the BMW coming along. Tron is just not getting to his stall. I think he's still going to come out ahead of ATB, but we'll see. Let's put some fuel in the thing now. Got Ishmael. Ishmael and Petrol are about the same on fuel, but Petrol, is just much heavier on the tire wear than Ishmael. Ishmael is driving like he can go all race on these tires. That's how soft he's being with them. Petrol, yeah, I don't think he's got many more laps on that front right. Bar's not much better on the front right, and a little bit better on fuel. Supra is now enjoying 4th place on his own. He's still good on fuel. He's still got plenty of life in that front right. He's just worse than I would expect hards to be. At this stage, case in point, there is a significant improvement with Flak's hards over Supra's hards, and Flak has also used less fuel. And we have Tap, who's a little bit worse for wear tire-wise, but he is babying that thing on fuel. He is much more fuel than Flak or Supra. Then you have me. That Viper, where our front right is screaming at us to stop. The front right's not going to last much longer, and our fuel, I think we're part of the worst on fuel right now. And we have Type R, much better tire wear. much better on fuel as well compared to the Viper. The Tron did indeed come out ahead of ATB, but he is under fire, and ATB gets around. Oh, and Tron is on his hard stint now. Ooh, Tron getting a little squirrely coming through this there. Alright, so let's come back to the front. We see Ishmael. Big gap over them. I think Petrol is starting to struggle with his tires. So I would think he would come in here now, but I think he's going to go a little bit longer on these mediums, even though that front right is giving him trouble. Bars, similar spot. That front right is begging for mercy. We have Superboy coming along. He's coming around. He's going to continue on, go for another lap. He's probably going to try to go pretty deep on with these hards. Yeah, Flack here on the hards. Plenty of fuel, plenty of tire life to go around, so he's probably going to stay out for several more laps. Same with Tap. That Viper needs to come in within the next lap or two, as that front right is just in agony. It is in agony. It's a wonder that we're getting around the track at all with the front right the way it is. Type R in that BMW is taking it easy, but that's kind of what you need to do in these hards, especially in a torquey monster like the BMW. Lots of torque in that car, so it can and will go around on you if you are not careful with it. Then we have ATB and Tron. They can get out of ATB on the superior compound, the medium compound. A few more laps of those hards, but so ATB's tires are nice and warm. Tron's car's tires may just not be getting to their desired temp, but he's still not quite have the grip of that Nissan. Meanwhile, Ishmael's got a bigger gap over Petrol now. That Petrol his tire is in agony. We have Bar coming around again. I think these are all aiming for one stops. We have Superboy coming along. We have Flack. Tap. We have the Viper. That Viper is dipping into the pits. Like I said, that Viper knew he wasn't going to go many more laps. So he's going to dip into the pits, get off those, and get some fresh shoes on. It's going to allow Type R to get ahead for a little bit. ATB and Tron may also get around here. And that Nissan pulling away from the Mercedes is that Nissan's got better handling than the Merc, so it should be an advantage to be had there for the Nissan. And the Viper's coming out on the hards, getting that hard stand out. Didn't take a whole lot of fuel, it looks like, so we'll see how that goes. Probably aiming for a very short hard stint. Meanwhile, that Audi is coming around. It's a much larger gap over the Mercedes than before. Seems like that Mercedes is starting to hemorrhage time on that medium, but he just looks committed to that one-stop approach. And we're about 24 minutes almost into the race, so he's got to go another 6 minutes to think about to get to the halfway mark and know you're at that point you can do a one-stop. We have Bar coming along. He could probably do a couple more laps and be fine. But at some point you do need to consider you have to run them hards at some point. You do want to be on the other side of 30 minutes. If you're going for a one stop on the hards, you want to minimize the amount of time that you're on those hards. Superior's in fourth, he's still on the hards. He's got up on his own, got Flack. Tap not too far behind. Tap's got much better fuel consumption right now than Flack, but Tap's got more tire wear. So a nice little trade-off between the Ferrari and the Mercedes there. We have Type R and then BMW. He's got some little more fuel usage than the Mercedes in front of him, and tires are about even. So we have ATB here on mediums, few lap old mediums, couple lap old hards for the Merc, and basically fresh hards for the Viper. Where you can get the rear. Meanwhile, we have Ishmael. He's on his own now. He's running away in that Audi. Petro going wide as we turn to him. He is on some dead mediums here. That front right is pretty much giving no grip at this point. It's a wonder he is able to turn left. There's a few left turns that you have to worry about. That's really where that front right is going to struggle right with him right now. We have Barr, who's in a similar boat as the Mercedes in front. He's just being gentle around this corner the way I'd expect him to be. We got Supra on these hards. At this stage with the 401 stoppers, the hards are going to have the advantage. At this stage, once they swap compounds, again, Supra should have the advantage going to the mediums, whereas Barr, Petrol, and Ishmael will be going to the hards. We have Flack coming along. He's going to be going to the mediums once he pits. We're not quite halfway, so we got Tap coming along. He can go several more laps of fuel, and probably several and just as many, quite a bit more on those hards as well. Fuel, I think, is going to be his limiting factor. Same with Type R here. Fuel is going to be the limiting factor to this stint. Once he goes in, he'll probably go to mediums, and that will be his one stop. ATB, I suspect, is doing a two-stop. He's currently pulling ahead away from that Mercedes behind him. Yep, significantly less fuel. That Nissan, with the way he's driving, he is not going to go the distance on this tank. The Mercedes, I think it's going to be close. I know. Tron, I do believe, is going to have to pit again. And the Viper clearly going to have to pit again as well. I think the Viper deliberately went for a very short stint here. Because already less than a quarter of a tank, and he only pit a couple of laps ago. Anyway, we got Ishmael starting to see the fuel light flicker at him. He's probably got a couple more laps of fuel to go. He goes to the hards. He's got a nice gap over Petrol now, who has basically no life left in that front right. The front lap isn't much happier. So I would advise Petrol to pit soon before he starts having no grip at all. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do fine. But we have Barr coming along. Yeah, mediums. This front right is just, this right side is just not happy with him right now. Those tires are screaming. They're wanting release. Supra's right side is also pretty bad shape, especially for being hards. Even though they're nearly 20 laps in, probably have done a little bit better saving of his tires. Although, still got good life left in him, and he's only got a few laps of fuel left. Flack's got a little bit more fuel than Superboy, although he's also got much better tire life than Supra as well. So this may be because Flack just may not be pushing quite as hard. Could just be planned to go up, and that Mercedes of petrol is going to the pits. You have Tap coming along. He can go a few more laps if he wants. Same with Type R, probably go a couple more laps. You have ATB, Drone, and then the Viper. Slowly losing touch with the Mercedes. The Viper seems to be really struggling with these hearts. We have Ishmael. I'm pretty sure he's going to be pitting this lap, but given that fuel gauge is on the E, basically. Same with Bar. I'm pretty sure he's going to pit this lap, just given fuel. Super will likely pit this lap, and it seems like he is closing in on Bar a little bit. The gap was a lot bigger earlier, but now it seems like Super is gaining on him a little bit. We have Flack. It's kind of not too far behind Super. Probably about 10 seconds or so, I'd say. 5 seconds behind. 5-6 seconds behind him is going to be Tap. And Petro on a fresh set of hards. Now, does Petro stick these out, or does he go the distance? We'll see. Type R, he is not too far behind, and he is due to pit within the next couple laps, looking at his fuel. ATB, he's going to pit. He's definitely have to pit again, probably within the next, I'd say, 5 laps. We'll see ATB dip back in. Trone, yeah, he's going to have to pit again as well, probably at the 15-ish minute mark. Just looking at where he is fuel-wise. The Viper's going to have to pit here within the next lap or two. We have all of our front 4 all in pits right now. This should very briefly give Tap maybe the lead. Tap definitely won't be able to hold it because fuel. No, Ishmael is coming out in front of the Tap. So Tap gets a little tease of the lead, but it's going to be contending for second place here at this point. And Petro is not too far behind. You should be able to see him. He's coming around the bends here. R is coming out of pits here in 4th, with ATB coming up behind him on some warm, fairly warm mediums. Super coming out for our mediums himself, and heck, full tank of fuel. He might can go the distance here, assuming he doesn't kill his tires. We have Trone behind him. Trone's on the hards, so he'll probably be struggling to gain ground a little bit. We have the Viper coming along with Flack right behind him. Flack very fresh mediums, full tank of fuel. Viper about out of fuel and on fairly warm. Not fairly warm, some decent tire. The hards are in decent shape. Then we have Type R in the rear at the moment. Meanwhile, as it has been all race long, all 33.5 minutes of racing so far, Ishmael is in the lead. We have Tap here in second. He's probably going to pit this lap or next. Now we have Petro behind him, closing in hard. And he's on the hards. Bar's on the hards, and he's got an ATB charging behind him. Although whether ATB can get around him and hold on to that position after pitting again here soon, because it's looking at it, he's clearly going to have to pit again. Superboy, he is on fresh mediums. He is on a mostly full tank. Fuel just a couple laps in on the stint, and he should be able to go the distance. Whether it's going to depend on whether his mediums can survive 26 minutes. Drone is halfway through this tank. It's hard. His tires can go the distance. His fuel, I don't think so. We have Flack and And the Ferrari's on some fresh mediums, filled up his tank. We have Type R coming along, and we have the Viper coming out on some mediums. Seems like the Viper did the bare minimum number of laps on the hards, then pit in for some fresh meat for some mediums, and is now going to close back in on the field. Alright, so we have Ishmael out in front, all on his lonesome. We have Tap and Petrol. Tap has got a few seconds lead over Petrol here. Petrol's on fresh hards, Tap on very worn hards. So even if Tap stays out another lap, which would be foolish for him to do given his fuel, if Tap stays out, he's not going to be able to hold Petrol. I don't think he has the tire to do it. You have Bar. Excuse me. We have Bar coming up behind him. He ways back, and right behind him is ATB, charging forward still, closing in ever so quickly. But that Nissan does not have the fuel to stay out much longer. So Bar could just let ATB by up here in these corners and could get the position right back within the next lap or so. Either the end of this lap or next lap if ATB could squeeze out another lap. Okay, closing into both of these is Superboy on mediums, these medium tires. So the Super fuel-wise should be good. It's his tire life that's going to be an issue because he burns those mediums. Those hards he was on to a crisp. I do apologize. I do have a slightly stuffy nose. It's been acting up today. I do apologize for that. Anyway, we have Trump coming up. He's closing in. We see Tap did go into the pits with zero fuel, and he is just now getting to this stall. It wouldn't surprise me seeing that if Tap actually ran out on the way into the pits. We have the BMW of Type R coming along. He's on fresh mediums, good tank, good stick of fuel. Should be good to make it rest of the race. And then we have the Viper bringing up the rear. Likewise, should be good from here on out. And not too far behind that Viper is Ishmael on these hards. With about 22 minutes to go, we have Ishmael. Probably at some points may even see the rear of that Viper. As he's closing in on the rear of the field. Then we have Petrol now by his lonesome, not really in a position to battle with anyone, no one around him. No one close in front, no one close behind. At this point, he is just running his race, hoping Ishmael does something to make a mistake. Then we have Bar, still feeling the pressure from ATP, but as suspected, ATP is diving into the pits, basically running out of fuel, but Bar's fight is not over. Because now, instead of the Nissan of ATB, it's now going to be the Ferrari of Superboy on Bar's bumper. And Bar is on these mediums. Superboy's on these mediums. Sorry, Bar is still on the hards. Superboy on mediums. And he's trying to close in the gap. Probably within the next lap or lap and a half, Super will be all up Bar's business. Meanwhile, we have Trone. He's out and on his own. No one really close in front. We have Flack behind him. Looks like he's slowly gaining ground on him, but yeah, you can see him. So Flack should be able to catch Trone within the next 2 or 3 laps. We have Tap behind Flack. kind of sizable gap in all directions. We have ATB, who came out right ahead of Type R in the BMW on some fresh mediums and most of a fuel tank. We have Type R on a few lap older tires and about the same amount of fuel. And we have the Viper way behind those two, basically having a pleasant Saturday drive at this point. Trying to close in the gap from there. So not too far behind that Viper is Ishmael, the leader of the race. He started the race in the front, and at no point has he not been the leader. Petro gave him a little bit of a test early on, but right now it's the Ishmael show. He's out on his own, pulling away more and more from Petrolins here in second. And like I said, within a lap, Superboy in that Ferrari on medium tires is giving Barr the business. Barr is on hard compound tires, and the Porsche no less. So Barr has his work cut out in front of him. So one thing about Supra that I don't think anyone can deny is Supra is can be a very aggressive driver when he is on the attack. He's mostly clean about it, but it has to be said, Supra is very aggressive when he's on the attack. And right now, Supra is all out on the attack right now, trying to get around Barr, trying to get into the podium for this round. And right now, Barr is making him earn every 10th to try to get around. Barr squeezing him wide here, going defensive into the first corner, holds him off for now. We see Tyrone dipping into the pits here, probably to get off those hards and a little bit more fuel and some fresh mediums. But right now, Barr and Supra, these two are at it. Supra's on the attack. Barr goes wide. It opens the inside to Supra. But Supra may not want to take it because going the inside there puts him on the outside here. Makes him have to go the long way around, which he has the grip advantage to do. But Porsche goes wide here, puts him on the outside there, but inside here. But if he doesn't clear Supra, puts him on the outside there. He is stuck on the outside here, and Supra's got that inside line. These two are side by side, door to door, going through here. I think Supra is going to get the job done here. Just mediums versus hards. Mediums are usually going to win especially if the driver's good enough to do it. And Supra, like I think he's good. He's aggressive, but he's good. Anyway, Barr might be able to respond, but just given the tire discrepancy, I don't think he's going to be able to. Supra's gotten around him. He's on the mediums. Should be the faster tire. Looks like there's a little bit of contact there between Barr and Supra. And Barr lets Supra go on by. Get back on track after that little bit. To be a smidge of contact there. And now Supra gets to run away. Flag is by his lonesome. He ain't got no one in front of him. He really got no one behind him, but Tap's lurking behind him. There's a sizable gap between him. There's a sizable gap behind him to ATB. He's got Supra not too far behind him. And not too far behind the BMW of Type R. I don't know why I said Supra. That's my bad. Type R. We have Tyrone Colby and the Brown, Cleveland Browns, Mercedes. And then you have the Viper trying to close in. Time's running out though. If that Viper's going to do anything. But this is not the track for the Viper. Not many There's only a handful of acceleration zones. It's mostly cornering and handling at this track, and that's the Viper's bane. So we have Ishmael in the lead, solidly in the lead, and we have Petro diving into the pits. What? I guess Petro's like, nah, I ain't doing this whole stint on the hards. We're gonna get some mediums on, which allows Supra and Bar to take over the podium. If we see, Petro did not appear to take any fuel. He just took some fresh tires, mediums, and he is coming out right behind the Ferrari Flack. And so now Flack's got Petrol on his rear. Flack's got some mediums as well. It's fresh mediums versus slightly worn mediums. I think fresh mediums might have an advantage here. We have Tap behind, not too far behind these two, slowly running Flack in. But now he's got Petrol between him and Flack. And it's going to take a lap before these tires to get the temp, but once he does, expect to see Petrol really close in on Flack. So behind Tab, behind Tab we have ATB, we have Type R slowly losing touch to ATB, still moving forward, still keeping it pointing in the right direction. Had himself a nice clean race so far. We have Tron slowly running him in, and just working to do anything. He's doing everything he can at this point to bring this Mercedes home and ideally get ahead of that BMW. And then the Viper in the rear trying to close back in, but this is just not the track for this car. And at this point we're doing good just to bring it home in one piece. And then not too far behind the Viper is Ishmael. Huge gap between him and Superboy in second place. He was running away from Bar in third. We have Flack and Petrol. Petrol's starting to reel in Flack, I think, here. There's a little gap there. It'll take Petrol a few laps to catch up if he's going to. Then we have Tap there. The gap between him and Petrol is growing, so that's one reason why I believe Petrol is gaining on Flack, despite not being able to see the live distance here between the two. We have ATB, good bit behind Tap, Type R behind him. We have Tron. He's now easily as Type R in his sights, so he might be on Type R's bumper within the next 3 or 4 laps. Then we have the Viper, kind of where he was before, distance-wise behind the Mercedes, and then Ishmael and the Audi is threatening to put the Viper a lap down. We have Supra well behind the leader here. He's got Bar not too far behind, but he is building a gap over Bar. We have Flack here in 4th place still, and Petrol not too far behind. Petrol is close, bringing him in, is bringing him down. Probably within the next lap, I'd say we'll have a battle for 4th going. Then we have Tap still reeling in the Ferrari in 6th, but he's lagging. He's losing touch to the Mercedes in front of him. ATB is trying, I think, at this point, may just be trying to bring it home. He may, if he can catch up to Tap, he probably will. But he's probably not going to push too hard at this stage for that. We have Type R here in 8th. Tron right here in 9th. He is reeling him in slowly but surely. So there might be a battle here within the next 3 or 4 laps. And then the Viper is trying to bring it home and stay on the lead lap. I think is the Viper's goal at this point, just stay ahead of Ishmael. Because Ishmael is worryingly close. And we have Supra and Type and Bar not too far behind. We have Flack and Petrol threatening Flack at this point. Petrol, because Petrol is there. And Petrol's got the run through. I think we'll stay here for a little bit, because this is some action right here, y'all. Petrol's threatening, he is looming, he's now applying pressure. He may look to make a move. He wants to get back to the podium. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to get back to the podium. And he knows he can do it. He's got to get around Flack. And right now he is practically pushing that Ferrari. Try to get around quicker. Try to get up to a passing point quicker. And all the while, we can see Tap occasionally in the background, lurking. So Flack held off Petrol this lap, but this is allowing Tap to close in slowly but surely. Again, Tap right there behind him. Not Tap, Petrol, sorry. Petrol's right there behind him. He's in the slipstream. He might be looking to make a move. Does he make that move to the inside? He dives to the inside. He's got that inside line. I think Flack did try to kind of pull back to the inside, but got a little wobbly. Now lets Petrol get by. And I don't think Flack's got an answer. So already Petrol has pulled a gap, so yeah, Flack is not. Doesn't look like Flack's going to be able to answer to Petrol here. Meanwhile, Tap is not that far behind. Like I said, he has been running the Ferrari in little by little over the past several laps. He's only got a few laps to go though. If he's going to make anything with Flack happen, he's got to get up there and get around him soon. Meanwhile, we have ATP, we have Type R and Tron, like I said earlier. Tron is going to be closing in on Type R. And probably be there within the next lap or next few laps. Well, it's been a few laps. And Tron is basically there. This might be a battle for 8th here. So we'll come back to this for a little here in a little bit. We have the Viper, we have Ishmael. You can see the Viper now for sure. And we have Supra, Bar, Petrol running and pulling away from Flack. We have Tap, got him on his lonesome, but he is reeling in Flack slowly but surely. We have ATP, Samuth, we have Type R and Tron. This is where I bet was. Ooh, Type R gets a little squirrely. That turbo kicked in and kicked him out a little. This is one of the potential drawbacks of a turbocharged car. If that turbo lag can and will get you if you're not ready for it. And it looked like Type R wasn't ready for it, causing that rear end to kick out on him in the worst possible place. And Tron was able to make short work of that, work off him from there, take 8th place from him. Meanwhile, we have the Viper trying to reel these two in, also trying to keep ahead of this guy. This guy was for a long time under threat from Petrol, but he was able to pull away and now has a huge gap to second place behind him. Supra's now got a sizable gap to Bar, but Bar's there might be enough time for Petrol to make a move here. Petrol is rolling in Bar. It may come down to a last lap move battle between Petrol and Bar for the last spot of the podium. Meanwhile, we have Flack, who's trying to keep ahead of Tap, I think. Flack is probably going to have his hands full with Tap here in the last lap as well. We have RA's ATB. He's on his lonesome. Again, he's at this point, the only thing on at this point he should be worried about is bringing it home in one piece. We have Tron and Type R. Tron is solidly ahead of Type R at this point. Type R did not have an answer to the Mercedes, and those tires have seen better days. Meanwhile, the Viper again, that front right, screaming in agony, but we're still trying to keep it in the right direction, just trying to bring it home, and then ideally catch up to Type R. But I think at this point, the Viper's concern is just keep ahead of the leader. Do not let the Audi catch up. 4 minutes to go, and the Audi does not need to push at this point. He's got the fastest lap. He's got a huge gap to second place. He's got a good gap to the third, but disconcerting to third should be this guy closing in. Bar, I'm sure, is peeking in his rearview mirror from time to time and agonizing over the fact that every lap this blue and purple Mercedes is just a little bigger in that rearview mirror. Meanwhile, the gap is built between Petrol and Flack, and the gap between Flack and Tap is collapsing. Tap is almost there. He just needs a few more laps, and he might take 5th if he doesn't keep doing that. Then we have ATB here in 7th. As long as lonesome, as long as he keeps it that way, he'll be good. We have Tron Colby in 8th, Type R in 9th, and the Viper in 10th. Bringing up the rear, and the leader is threatening ever so slightly. He's right there, definitely, easily within distance, striking distance of that Viper. Then we have Superboy second, all by his lonesome, and this is not what Bar wants to see here. We have Bar going as defensive as he possibly can, trying to hold that Mercedes behind him. Bar wants to hold on to that last podium spot, but worn hards versus mediums, I think Petrol was going to get around him. Those mediums had just that much more grip than the hards. Ooh, and then Bar goes wide, which is definitely not ideal. Now he's really got to push to get back up to Petrol. Question is, does he have time? And can he do it without letting this guy catch up and get around? And then Flack has to worry about Tap closing in as well. ATB, meanwhile, he's in no man's land. As long as he keeps it this way, he is golden. We have Tron at a Type R. Tron can't quite rest easy because Tron cannot make a mistake. Type R is still close enough. If Tron makes a mistake, Type R can take advantage. Then we have the Viper. Blue flags are waving. The Viper has nearly lost the battle to keep on the lead lap. Ishmael is right there. But I think he's going to cross the line with no time to go. Yep, final lap. I'm going to watch that Audi take the checkered flag for a perfect run for that Audi. Then Superboy here in second. Had a misstep very early on, but didn't hurt him, didn't phase him too badly. So he comes along here in second place. Petron is able to solidify his gap over Barr to hold on to the final podium spot. Barr comes across in fourth, Flack in fifth. Tap was not in the end able to catch up. Oh, I think he may have ran out of fuel before he got to the line as well. We have ATB holding strong in seventh. We have Tron here in eighth. He did manage to keep it clean, keep it steady. Finish in eighth, and the last car to finish, Type R, because we crossed the line ahead of the leader. So to recap, Ishmael took the win and fastest lap with a 1 minute 32.659. We have Superboy in second in the Ferrari 458. Petrol taking the last podium position in third in the 2020 Mercedes AMG. And I think he's the only other driver to hit the 132s this race. Then we have Barr in fourth, Popat or Flack in fifth, Tap in sixth, ATB in seventh, Tron finishing eighth, Type R in ninth, and myself in the Viper in 10th. Ooh, this was a good race, a fun one, and yeah, again we took this commentary duty due to commitments from our usual commentator, the legendary GT45 Gaming, and so here I am doing this again. And like I said, if this becomes a regular routine thing, I will start doing this live. But yeah, so this is twice. If there's a third time, it will be done live. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you tune in next week. The next week should be the next round of the Elantra series. Hopefully it will be broadcast live. If not, then I will do the replay commentary as we've done here. And it will be done live if I end up doing it again. But I am the Damn Cat. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you next time. Remember, you matter. You are important. The light that you bring to this world makes it that much better, that much brighter. If you need help, reach out. Until next time.